The three universal truths, also known as the three marks of existence, are fundamental teachings of Buddhism. These truths are an essential part of the Buddhist path to enlightenment and offer insight into the nature of existence, suffering, and self. The first of the three universal truths is impermanence, anicca. This truth states that everything in the universe is constantly changing and nothing remains the same. All things are impermanent and subject to decay and destruction. This truth can be observed in the natural world, where all things are born, grow, and eventually die. It can also be observed in our own lives, where our physical bodies, thoughts, and emotions are constantly changing. The truth of impermanence can be difficult to accept, as it challenges our natural tendency to seek permanence and stability in our lives. We often cling to our possessions, relationships, and identities, hoping that they will remain unchanged. However, this attachment to permanence can lead to suffering when we experience loss or change. In Buddhism, the practice of mindfulness is essential to understanding and accepting the truth of impermanence. By being fully present in each moment and observing the impermanent nature of all things, we can develop a sense of detachment and acceptance. This can help us to let go of our attachments and desires and find peace in the present moment. The second of the three universal truths is suffering, dukkha. This truth states that suffering is an inherent part of human existence. It includes physical and emotional pain, dissatisfaction, and the general unsatisfactoriness of life. This truth can be observed in the world around us, where there is poverty, disease, and injustice. It can also be observed in our own lives, where we experience illness, aging, and death, as well as the challenges of relationships and work. The truth of suffering can be difficult to accept, as it challenges our natural desire for happiness and pleasure. However, the Buddha taught that suffering arises from our attachments and desires. When we cling to things that are impermanent, we set ourselves up for disappointment and suffering when they inevitably change or disappear. In Buddhism, the practice of compassion is essential to understanding and accepting the truth of suffering. By cultivating empathy for the suffering of others, we can develop a deeper understanding of our own suffering. This can help us to let go of our attachments and desires and find peace in the present moment. The third of the three universal truths is non-self, anatta. This truth states that there is no permanent, unchanging self or soul that exists within us. Rather, our sense of self is constantly changing and is made up of a combination of physical and mental processes. This truth can be observed through introspection and meditation, where we can observe the changing nature of our thoughts and emotions. The truth of the non-self can be difficult to accept, as it challenges our natural sense of identity and individuality. We often cling to our sense of self, believing that it is who we truly are. However, the Buddha taught that our sense of self is a product of our experiences and conditioning and is constantly changing. In Buddhism, the practice of wisdom is essential to understanding and accepting the truth of the non-self. By recognizing the impermanence and interconnectedness of all things, we can develop a deeper understanding of the nature of reality. This can help us to let go of our attachments and desires and find peace in the present moment. In summary, the three universal truths of impermanence, suffering, and non-self offer a profound insight into the nature of existence, suffering, and self. By understanding and accepting these truths, we can cultivate mindfulness, compassion, and wisdom, and find freedom from the cycle of suffering.